Hello and welcome to the fifth part of this Premiere Elements video tutorial. Now that we're in the timeline, what I've done is just gone up to Timeline, Render Work Area, and basically that's just rendered the work area. So now if I press play, I should get a nice smooth playback of our preview video. And now what I want to do is use the timeline environment just to edit my video. So I'm just going to go to my next clip. And basically at the moment I just want to cut that down to about 5 seconds. So all I need to do to edit a clip down, if I actually go back to the first clip, move the playhead slider so that it's exactly over 5 seconds, click the clip so that it's purple, which means that it's selected, just hit the scissor icon and we can see that it's just made a cut straight through that area of the clip. Now if I just click that clip, make sure that it's selected purple, hit delete, and that'll remove that clip from the timeline. What it'll also do is just to make sure that it moves all the other clips so that it fills in that blank space. Now I can move the playhead along, select the next part of the clip that I want, and I want it to start just about there. Make sure the clip's selected. Again, hit the scissors, select the bit I want to remove and hit delete, and I'm going to move that on to about 10 seconds. Again, select the clip, use scissors to make a cut, select the area that I want to remove and hit delete. Now if I just go for the next bit, it's all a little bit dark, so I think I'll remove the whole of that bit of the clip and I'll go straight to a little bit of the daylight clip. I think I want that to start just about there. And again, going to let that play for about 5 seconds. So move the playhead along to 15 seconds. Hit cut. And then I can remove the whole of the rest of that clip. But what I want to do with this clip is actually use this little bit at the end. And this is where the timeline editing really comes into its own. If I use the scene line, I'd lose all of that bit of the clip that I'd cut out, but I want this nice little bit where I'm swinging round and just filming the front of the ship and then the sun coming through the mast. So what I'm going to do first of all is just cut the end of that clip at about 45. Just remove that, and I want to have about 10 seconds of that clip, so I'll start it just about there. And just cut that and cut out the middle section of that clip. And again, I can just preview the next clip by just hitting play, or just use the playhead just to quickly scroll through and see if there's anything in that clip that I want to keep. Now that's a little bit dull, so again, just hit delete to remove that. And now I've got a nice clip of the sails. So again, I'm going to just choose about 5 seconds. This clip, just select it, use the cut tool, delete a bit more of that, and basically now I can continue on and continue just editing out bits of that clip to use in my final footage. Again, at any point, if you just go to this preview size slider, and I can just preview up and down just to see how the video clip is looking. Here I'm just going to take another 5 seconds from part of the clip. And again, just keep moving through, finding the little bits of the clip that you want to keep, and very simply just making edits for the clips that you want, or delete the clips that you don't. Okay, and just make my final edit on the timeline. So I'm just going to cut that down so this movie is exactly 1 minute long. Now what I can do is just quickly play through that and just check that we've got everything exactly where we want it. It's always worth, after making your edits and at each stage, saving the file down. So I'll just do that now by going up to File and File Save. Premiere Elements will automatically save down as you go along, but it's well worth just making sure you save as you go along in case it does crash or something goes wrong. So now we've got our basics of our film, we're ready to add a few transitions, and at the moment if I just go along to almost the end of the first clip and just click play, we can see how it really jump cuts from one clip to another. So what we want to do is just smooth that transition between the two clips. So if we go up to edit, then we want to hit transitions, and we're going to go for cross dissolve, and all you do is make sure that it's selected, and then you drag and drop that over the two clips. So you just drag it over where the two clips meet, and I'll do that for each of the clips as I go along. Now as you drag them across, you'll see that some will intersect both of the clips, and other ones like this one will only intersect the clip on the right. Now when it comes to rendering and exporting, you'll find that the transition between a clip which has both clips covered and one that only has half of the clip covered is not so good. So after we've just dropped these into place, we'll go back to those clips which haven't properly got the cross dissolve effect on, and we can just very quickly edit those. First of all, we just select it in the timeline, then hit edit transition. Where it says alignment, where it says start at cut, we want center at cut, and you'll see that that is now going over both of the clips. Now if I click back on one that's normal, we see that the duration of the transition is a second. If I click onto that, the next one, we'll see that it's actually dropped it down to 0.9. So we can just click onto that and just drag the mouse left or right to increase that. And we'll just make that transition exactly 1 second as well. We've got another one just here. Again, center at cut, that's already just over a second, so that's fine. Again, I will just do this last one here. And after you've finished adjusting the transitions, all you do is click done. Now if we go along to just before one of those transitions and click play, and you can just see how the clips smooth from one into the other. So we're almost there with our actual editing of our clip. What we want to do now is just to add some text. So the first thing we need to do is just make sure we're fully rewound. Again, I'll just go up to File and Save, make sure I save that project down. Then I'm just going to click into Video 2, Audio 2, select Title, New Title and Default Still. And after a few seconds you'll see the screen change slightly and an overlay will appear over the preview. Then to add our own text, just double click into the Add Text area, type in the text that you want, then select the text by just going Ctrl A, and then over on the right hand side you have the options to change the font, how that font appears on screen, and you can also change the actual type of font from a whole series of predefined title fonts. So here I'm just going to go for the very basic, just going to increase that font size a little bit and also just increase the distance between each of the lines there. I also just want to move that text now over just a little bit. So in the tool palette, I just select the selection tool, click onto the text. I'll very quickly just move that left and up a little bit if I like. And once I'm finished with adding my first title, all I need to do is click Done. So you can see that it's added that text here on the timeline. And if I want to include more text, then just click to the end of that timeline clip, go up to Title, New Title, Default Still, and I can add some more text in there. Now, after that text is played, I don't want it just cutting straight off, so I want it actually to dissolve and fade into nothing, so I'll put in the cross dissolve again. So as it reaches the end of its display, it'll just fade nicely into the video. Now if I go back right to the end of the video, so I just click the playhead right to the end, I want the end of the video just to dip to black. So again, pick my transition and I can just drag and drop that right onto the end. And now the very end of the video will just fade straight into black. And again, I can just put my title text over that black just to give quite a professional finish to the video. Now that I'm pretty much done, I can just go straight up to File and Save. And then before I go to export my video, I just once again want to render that timeline. So if I go up to Timeline, Render Work Area, and again it'll now zoom through and render all of those new transitions and the title text that I've added to this video.